Good day, Mom. Good day, everyone. I'm Ronali Ihambalo, and today I will tell you the evolution of language in education policy, together with my partner. The Philippines language in education policy has evolved with the structures of the state and its institution over a long period of time. By and large, the policy in place has always been reflective of desire of the government or administration in power and embodied in its fundamental law, the Constitution. During the Spanish colonial period, our school system had Spanish as the official medium of instruction. The use of the Spanish language, being the language of the colonizer, is extended to civil service and businesses. During the short-lived First Philippine Republic, the 1899 Malolos Constitution, interestingly, made Spanish still compulsory in public and judicial affairs. During the American period, English replaced Spanish as the official state language and as the language used in commerce and trade. Eventually, the post-war establishment of the Philippine Republic precipitated also a shift in policies. Foremost among them, the language and education policy, but as early as the Commonwealth period, former President Manuel L. Quezon had already envisioned a national language based on Tagalog, the language of his region and his mother tongue. In Article 13, Section 3 of the 1935 Constitution provides, "The National Assembly shall take steps toward the development and adoption of a common national language based on one of the existing native languages, until otherwise provided by law. English and Spanish shall continue as official languages." In response, the First National Assembly approved in November 13, 1936, Commonwealth Act Number 184, mandating the creation of the National Language Institute. The goal of the institute was to recommend one of the existing native languages to be used as the basis for a national language. Not long after, in December 30, 1937, President Quezon signed Executive Order Number 134, Series of 1937, proclaiming the national language of the Philippines based on Tagalog language as recommended by the members of the National Language Institute. This executive order would precipitate initiatives for the full institutionalization of a language in education policy. In this case, a national language that is based on Tagalog, the institutionalization of the Tagalog-based national language, then called Filipino, found traction during the Japanese occupation when it was used as part of the propaganda, thereby bringing the language to areas where it was not spoken, much less understood. Yet, the institutionalization of the national language was not without opposition, as there were more non-Tagalog speakers in the Philippines at the time than Tagalog speakers.
The so-called language divide that pervaded for decades was left unresolved, even after the passage of the 1973 Constitution. The otherwise benign provision in Article 15, Section 3, which provides that the Batasang Pambansa shall take steps towards the development and formal adoption of a common national language to be known as Filipino, did not do much to quell the protest and resistance of the majority non-Tagalog speakers over the non-feasibility of the measure, because Filipino as an artificial language lacked both native speakers and a literary tradition to help propagate it. In light of the 1973 Constitution, the then Department of Education, Culture and Sports, DEX, released DEX Order No. 25, Series 1974, entitled Implementing Guidelines for the Policy on Bilingual Education, which serves as a basis for the institutionalization of bilingual education policy in basic education. The Bilingual Education Policy, or BEP, aims at the achievement of competence in both Filipino and English at the national level through the teaching of both languages and their use as media of instruction at all levels. The regional languages shall be used as auxiliary languages in grades 1 and 2. The aspiration of the Filipino nation is to have its citizens possess skills in Filipino to enable them to perform their function and duties in order to meet the needs of the country and the community of nations. Furthermore, the goals of the BEP shall be the following. Number 1. Enhance learning through 2 languages to achieve quality education, as called for by the 1987 Constitution. Number 2. The propagation of Filipino as a language of literacy. Number 3. The development of Filipino as a linguistic symbol of national unity and identity. Number 4. The cultivation and elaboration of Filipino as a language of scholarly discourse, that is to say, its continuing intellectualization. And number 5, the maintenance of English as an international language for the Philippines and as a non-exclusive language of science and technology. Filipino and English shall be used as media of instruction. The use allocated to specific subjects in the curriculum, as indicated in the Department Order No. 25, Series 1974. The 1987 Constitution, while additive in character as far as the provision and language in education policy goes, nevertheless upheld the designation.